half of their population. The survey said that China's rate of internet users is continued to rise compared to developed countries.
And the promotional for Facebook need to reach the intended and target audience that would be Chinese people. The following are some of the effective steps that can be used to get the campaign in the right target. The number one is assess marketing communication strategy, and 2, to know and decide which communication channel to use, and 3, establish objectives for determine promotion mix, 5, develop promotional message, 6, develop the promotion budget, and 7, know the effectiveness of the campaign. And these are what our group find as the most effective ways or strategies on capturing China. Tracking and reacting your campaign success are critical in maintaining an effective marketing campaign. This can be done by paying attention to website stats to be able to determine what is working, what is not. And the promotion strategy, the most important thing we need to know and think like a big, what kind of consumer are being focused, who is your audience that any interest in Facebook. And distribution is they define maximizing sales and profit and manage brand. And also they using the different firewall and why they allow the Facebook to open in any part of the China world. So when they open like computer, they can see like Facebook blog.
In product service and adaptation, Facebook logo has its own impact on its users because of its uniqueness. Facebook logo is its own product. And some games on Facebook are adaptations from movies, other online gaming. Our group sees the importance of having these our applications since the majority of Facebook users are young people. More than 70% of Chinese internet users are under 30s. And there are enormous pent-up demands for entertainment, amusement, and social interaction. Next, pricing strategy. As you mentioned above, it has been found out that the majority of the potential customers cannot afford or pay in US dollars. And Chinese currency renminbi is not fairly tradable. Therefore, we need to implement a pricing scheme that would agree to Chinese terms when it comes to mode of payment. And since we are planning to establish our service in China's domain, we are obliged to use their local currency as payment. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much. If you can gather up front, and you can do some of the questions.
Any questions?
Yeah. At one point, you mentioned that you would want the government to think that Facebook would be the best social networking site and would trump the other ones in China. Wouldn't that kind of not make sense, because don't they want to protect their companies that are in China already? Like, wouldn't they not want Facebook to come in and take over?
No, well, the government, Facebook has not always been banned, and it's not banned all over China. There are some cities in China where you can't have access to Facebook. But even though it has been banned, there was still an increase like in demand for Facebook. But it wasn't. Facebook is not big, or it's not of a worry comparing to other social networks in China. It doesn't have a strong market there. The local Chinese social networks are so much bigger than Facebook.
Talking about the local social networking sites, you mentioned Renren and Jiangsuo. Have you thought maybe instead of purchasing them, entering in a joint venture with them as a means to bypassing the governmental regulations?
Well, actually, China is a communist society, so their government, they just protect their companies, so they want to like a joint venture thing or licensing, so.
And they want to make their own technology, something like that.
So how does the fear of piracy apply to Facebook, and how are you going to address that?
What's the question?
You talk about piracy in your paper, so how is that going to be addressed, and how does it affect Facebook?
No, that was just mentioning how the Chinese internet market, they just the piracy doesn't just people prefer the like music videos or the movies or whatever to be pirated because it's a lot cheaper, but it doesn't affect Facebook.
Okay, so it won't be an issue when you are entering the Chinese market. It won't be an issue when you enter the Chinese market.
One more question.
Yeah. So how does Facebook plan on turning, could you elaborate, I guess, on how you plan on turning a profit? Like, who would you approach for advertising, and how would you actually make it viable within the Chinese market?
I think about advertising, they have, but I saw one article, but they have a lot of population, and they don't need too much because they talk mouth to mouth, and on the website too, they ignore like kind of pop-up something.
Well, I'm not talking about advertising Facebook. I'm talking about selling advertising on Facebook. Like, what companies would you approach to do that? Like, for them to advertise via Facebook.
Well, I mean, it's with social networks, advertisement is just, just having as many subscribers. If you have many subscribers in your social network, the more, that's the way they make money. And whether foreign companies advertise or local companies advertise, that's how they would be making money.
I think it means, are you going to have like an agent in China? Are you going to look at an agency in China to help you gain advertisement or contracts, or are you going to send a sales team internally to China? Kind of more along the lines of how are you going to do it? Are you going to get in contact with someone who's already in China, one of these companies, or?
I mean, yes, probably.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, thank you very much.